What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder back again with another edition of History You May Not Know and Things That Are Not Taught in Detail for Sure. Today's lesson is another period. This time is going to be focused more on the Reconstruction era of American history. But most people don't know that ethnic cleansing was going on even during the period of Reconstruction. We begin to see fights, battles, riots, looting, armed robbery, arson, sexual assault, and programming all happened during this time period. What happened? We're focusing on the great state of Tennessee, specifically Memphis. Shout out to Memphis, Tennessee. Make sure you leave Martin, Memphis, Tennessee in the comments. It was a series of violence that occurred between May 1st and 3rd in 1866 of Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis's history has had a lot of historical moments that we are not taught and emphasized on in American history. This one right here speaks on the racial violence that happened by political and social racism during the American Civil War. This was a very early period of Reconstruction. After several shooting altercations claimed when a white policeman was shooting black veterans of the Union Army. Think about this for a second. They fought in the Civil War, got America back freedom from terrorists. Most people don't know the Confederate soldiers were terrorists because they were going up and trying to overthrow the United States government. The policing rampage to the black community caused many freedmen to be attacked and many soldiers to be killed and burned to death. Federal troops were sent to this place in Memphis to quell down the problems. Remember, they had to get peace and restored after 3 days of killing, suffrage, and death. It was most stated that over 50 black people were killed, almost 5 white people, 100 black people were injured, over 100 burned down women, over 10 black women were sexually assaulted. Churches, schools, venues, all in the black community were targeted and burned down. The damages were almost $5 million in 2023. Many black people around this area fled the city permanently. Over a quarter of the population fell from the previous year. Think about that. 25% of the population of Memphis went down after this attention. Public attention was gained because you got to understand, these crimes against humanity were horrific. They were almost on scale what happened the same year in New Orleans, Louisiana this year, when a Republican candidate had to say that the 14th Amendment was constitutional and black Americans deserve life, liberty, and protection under the clause. This investigation was shown that the working class of black communities and many of the Irish immigrants were the causes of these because they had to compete with the black skilled labor that were coming up and rooting themselves from enslavement. Let's go to the background. It was a cotton trade collapse during the First War. Most people don't realize that the Western Tennessee, after the capture of Memphis from the Union Army in 1862, began the occupation of the city and became contraband. It was a heaven for black people that were fighting themselves from enslavement and joining the Union side to fight for their victory. Shelby County had to adjust to the total slave population, going almost 50,000 people. The black population of Memphis rose expeditiously with almost 20,000 people coming into the city in 1 year. Think about this for a second. Many black people went to the city of Memphis who were the skilled labor in the South, built themselves homes, cabins, water stations, basically completely revolutionized South Memphis into a hub that it was at one point. Most people have no idea that Memphis was a huge hub for police, doctors, lawyers, all of them of black skilled labor. Memphis faced the most black codes, slavery uprisings, and had to protect themselves the most. Remember, enslavement around these times were the labor, were the skilled hand. White people that were on these plantations living did not have the skills or the ability to accept these contracts that many of these black people did. So they literally did everything. Most people do not understand that once they left, the white people that lived on these lands suffered because the black Americans did everything on the land. They fixed it, they built it, they ran the crops, they built everything. So they literally had to learn how to do everything on the fly. So Irish immigrants were in Memphis at the time. They were only 9% of the population, around 8,000 people. So when this black influx of labor came into, the Irish immigrants felt displaced because they had to compete and go for these jobs that many black Americans were coming up around this time. Also remember, Irish had the Great Famine going on. Many settled in South Memphis because they thought cheap land allotments were given to immigrants for free labor. Remember, that's where they began to get these free issues. Fast forwarding a little bit, rising tensions came because black Americans did not need them. They were completely self-sufficient. They had the freedmen bureaus helping them, and they were literally pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. Social tensions began to rise because black Union forces knew how to protect themselves. They knew how to defend themselves. They knew how to go after and do whatever they wanted. Remind you, they had their own law enforcement, which were the citizens and soldiers. They had their own community banks, retailers. Everything was circling, and they were thriving inside of that community. What happened was that the rumor mill began to spread about blacks starting to organize and seek revenge on their soldiers. Now think about this for a second for 10,000 people. Why would they want to seek any revenge when they have settled and justified themselves? So when the rumors began to spread, you began to see many amounts of people begin to target the black soldiers. The black soldiers were being killed, gunned down, and mob executed. A lynching mob went into the city and turned against the black soldiers. People protecting this country were literally getting shot and killed for almost 3 days. All of the businesses began to burn down. All of the homes that were built. All the communities that were literally uprooting themselves in the south part of Memphis began to get targeted by white race mobs. Remember, let's think about it again. As businesses, taxpaying dollars, communities, and other officials that got no right and no protection from law enforcement or others around this time. So while the white governorships were protecting the white terrorists attacking its black citizens, almost 50 black soldiers and people died. Almost 75 injured, over 100,000 homes robbed, over 100 homes were robbed, sexual assault, and many homes were burnt down. What most people don't realize is that this is what sparked the Depression to occur. Think of all that black wealth, all the wealth in these communities that were there. They were simply vanished because a white mob chose to attack them. In the Daily Advantage spoke about this later. Hey, we lost all this tax base, all these black citizens that were contributing, and they were just gone. The investigation showed that the Freedmen Bureau took care of its citizens on so many different levels. However, even though they were getting taken care of, even though they were championing for their rights, many black victims chose to just leave. All the oral traditions, all the customs, all left the city when 25% of its population left. Think about that huge tax base, that huge economic hub that was once in Memphis that was gone in a blink of an eye just because you acted and reacted out of causation. It is said that the black police force did not help, and it took the other black citizens to defend themselves until the National Guard came into the city. Many black people left the city because it was hostile. The black bank, the black freedmen bureaus decided to leave and protect its residents. A quarter of the population, like I said, was gone. The black community at this time had to rebuild itself and reestablish itself with black suffrage and issues around this time. Even though the law enforcement did not protect these people, the Great Massacre of Memphis happened, and we never got any justice until this day. So most likely, if you were a black American living in Memphis or your family was there, they could have been affected, could have been burned down, and could have faced many trials of this Memphis ethnic cleansing that happened due to black labor and Union soldiers moving to this town and building themselves up. I hope you learned something. It's your boy, King Crowder, back again with another edition of History You Did Not Know and Things That Were Not Taught in Detail for Show. I wanted to give you a crash course on why this thing was such a big deal and why it happened. Hopefully you learned something. It's your boy, checking out. Peace.